I want to tell you about a woman named Constance, 71 years old, retired accountant, a woman who had spent 38 years managing numbers with precision, tax returns, balance sheets, financial statements. She applied that same rigor to her health. She had a spreadsheet, literally. A spreadsheet tracking every supplement she took, every dose, every day, with a column for what each one was supposed to do. Constance was not careless. She was the opposite of careless. She had read the books. She had watched the health videos. She had built a supplement routine over 8 years that she believed was protecting her heart, her bones, her immune system, and her brain. She took 15 supplements a day. Every one of them had been recommended by a physician, by an article, by a friend, by something she had seen online. And yet Constance came to me with a calcium score. That is a scan that measures calcified plaque inside your coronary arteries, that placed her in the highest risk category for a cardiac event within 5 years. Her arteries were calcifying at a rate that alarmed me, alarmed her cardiologist, alarmed everyone who looked at the scan. Because on paper, Constance was doing everything right. It took me 20 minutes of reviewing her supplement spreadsheet to find it. One vitamin, taken at a dose that most people consider normal, a dose she had been reassured about by multiple sources. A vitamin that her body, at 71, with her specific kidney function and arterial profile, could no longer process safely. It was quietly depositing calcium in the walls of her arteries every single day. This is the part nobody tells you about vitamins after 60. Some of the supplements you take faithfully, believing they are protecting you, may be doing damage that you will only discover when it is visible on a scan. And by then, the damage has been building for years. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share changed how I think about vitamins and cardiovascular risk after 60, and it might change everything for you too. I'm Dr. Soren. I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon with 28 years in the operating room. I have performed over 2,500 open heart surgeries, and I have seen, directly on the operating table, in arteries I have held in my hands, the kind of calcified, hardened plaque that certain vitamins, taken incorrectly at the wrong dose and without proper context, can accelerate in an aging vascular system. I make these videos because the conversation I'm about to have with you is the one I wish I could have with every patient before they reach my operating table. Most doctors don't have time to review your supplement list line by line. Today, that is exactly what we are going to do. Here is the critical thing most people do not understand about vitamins and supplements after 60. Your kidneys and liver, the two organs responsible for filtering, converting, and excreting every substance that enters your body, including vitamins, function differently at 70 than they did at 40. Fat-soluble vitamins, vitamins A, D, E, and K, are not excreted in urine like water-soluble vitamins are. They accumulate in your tissues, and after 60, your kidneys filter more slowly, and your liver metabolizes more carefully. What was excreted efficiently at 45 begins to accumulate at 68. Think of it like a city's drainage system. At full capacity, it handles rain without flooding. Reduce that capacity by 30%, which is what aging does to kidney filtration, and the same amount of rain begins to pool. Streets flood that never flooded before. The infrastructure is the same. The capacity is not. Studies show that adults over 65 have measurably altered vitamin metabolism compared to younger adults, with blood levels of fat-soluble vitamins remaining elevated up to 40% longer after an equivalent dose. A supplement dose calibrated for a 40-year-old may create toxic accumulation in a 70-year-old taking the same amount. The supplement advice designed for middle age does not account for this shift, and the consequences in an aging cardiovascular system are not abstract. They are visible on scans, in operating rooms. That distinction and what to do about it is exactly what we're covering today. Number 1. Calcium supplements, the most widely taken, the most misunderstood. Here's what surprises most of my patients when I say this. They look at me and say, "But calcium protects my bones." And I say, yes, calcium from food protects your bones. Calcium in supplement form, taken in large doses after 60, is a genuinely different proposition for your cardiovascular system. Here is what is actually happening. When you take a calcium supplement, particularly calcium carbonate, the most common form, your blood calcium level spikes sharply within 1 to 2 hours of ingestion. Your body, which is designed to absorb calcium slowly from food over several hours, is suddenly managing a flood of calcium in the bloodstream all at once. And when blood calcium rises sharply, excess calcium has to go somewhere. In an aging arterial system with any existing inflammation or plaque, that excess calcium deposits into the arterial walls. It hardens them. It accelerates calcification, the very process that stiffens arteries and drives cardiovascular events. The medical term is vascular calcification. That means calcium literally embedding itself into the walls of your blood vessels, turning soft plaque into hard, brittle, rigid arterial disease. I have seen this with my own eyes on the operating table. Arteries in patients over 65 that feel like porcelain under my fingers, not from age alone, accelerated by years of supplemental calcium flooding a vascular system that could no longer direct it safely to bone. A study published in the British Medical Journal, analyzing data from over 23,000 adults, found that those taking calcium supplements had a 139% higher risk of heart attack compared to those who did not supplement, while dietary calcium from food showed no such association. That number, 139%, is not a typo. The fix is precise. Stop taking standalone calcium supplements unless your physician has tested your blood calcium and specifically directed you to supplement. Instead, get your calcium from food, 3 servings per day from sources like plain full-fat yogurt, cooked kale, canned salmon with bones, tofu set with calcium sulfate, and almonds. Food-sourced calcium is absorbed slowly, accompanied by natural cofactors, and does not produce the blood calcium spikes that supplement forms do. If supplementation is genuinely necessary, take no more than 500 milliliters at a time, never 1,000 milliliters in a single dose, and only with vitamin K2, which directs calcium away from arteries and toward bone. More on K2 shortly. Number 2, vitamin D, in the doses that most seniors are currently taking. Let me ask you something. Do you take vitamin D? And if so, what dose? If your answer is 5,000 IU or higher, which is the dose recommended by a remarkable number of online health sources and even some physicians, I need you to hear what follows carefully. Vitamin D is essential. After 60, deficiency is genuinely common and genuinely harmful. I am not telling you to stop taking it. I am telling you that the dose matters in a way that most people are never told. Vitamin D is fat-soluble. It accumulates, and at high doses, particularly 5,000 to 10,000 IU, taken daily without blood monitoring, it can cause something called hypercalcemia. That means elevated calcium in the blood, because one of vitamin D's primary functions is to increase calcium absorption from your gut. If you are taking high-dose vitamin D and also eating a reasonable diet, you may be absorbing far more calcium than your body needs, and that excess calcium takes the same destructive path through your arterial walls we just discussed. Earlier in my career, I routinely told patients with low vitamin D readings to take 5,000 IU daily. It was standard guidance at the time. I no longer do that without first checking their blood calcium and kidney function, because I have since seen patients with calcium scores that tell a story I should have been more careful about. A study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that adults over 65 taking 4,000 IU or more of vitamin D daily without physician monitoring had significantly higher rates of arterial calcification progression over a 3-year period compared to those taking 800 IU, the dose recommended by most major cardiology organizations for this age group. The fix: take no more than 1,000 to 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily, not D2, always D3, unless a blood test has confirmed deficiency and your physician has specifically directed a higher dose. Always take it with the largest meal of the day, with fat present, for proper absorption. And take it alongside 100 to 200 micrograms of vitamin K2, specifically MK7 which activates the proteins that direct calcium away from your arteries and into your bones where it belongs. Have you been taking high-dose vitamin D for years without ever having your blood calcium checked? Write it in the comments. I read every single one. Number 3, vitamin E, especially the synthetic kind in most supplements. Here's what the standard advice gets completely wrong about vitamin E. For 20 years, vitamin E was widely promoted as a powerful antioxidant that protected the heart. Studies in the 1990s seemed to support it. Physicians recommended it. Patients took it faithfully. I recommended it myself early in my career. I believed the research. Then larger, more rigorous studies arrived. And what they showed stopped the cardiology community in its tracks. High-dose synthetic vitamin E, specifically DL-alpha-tocopherol, the form found in the vast majority of vitamin E supplements, does not protect the aging heart. In fact, at doses above 400 IU per day, it has been associated with increased all-cause mortality in adults over 65. The proposed mechanism involves something called pro-oxidant activity. That means at high concentrations, vitamin E stops acting as an antioxidant and begins generating oxidative stress instead, damaging the very cellular membranes it was supposed to protect. The distinction between synthetic and natural vitamin E is critical and almost never explained in a 7-minute appointment. Natural vitamin E, D-alpha-tocopherol, is found in whole foods and in properly formulated supplements. Synthetic vitamin E, DL-alpha tocopherol, is what fills most supplement bottles. If you cannot tell the difference from the label, you are almost certainly taking the synthetic form. A study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine, analyzing data from over 135,000 patients, found that high-dose vitamin E supplementation above 400 IU per day was associated with a statistically significant increase in all-cause mortality, and the risk was highest in the over 65 subgroup. The fix: stop taking vitamin E supplements entirely unless directed otherwise. Get your vitamin E from food. 1 ounce of sunflower seeds delivers 7.4 milligrams of natural vitamin E. A tablespoon of wheat germ oil delivers 20 milligrams. Almonds, hazelnuts, avocado, and spinach all provide meaningful amounts in the natural mixed tocopherol form your body recognizes and processes safely. Real food, not a capsule. Number 4. Iron supplements, taken when no deficiency has been confirmed. Here's what nobody tells you about iron after 60. Iron deficiency is real. Iron deficiency anemia is a genuine medical condition that requires treatment. I am not disputing that. What I am addressing is the widespread habit of seniors taking iron supplements because they feel tired, because a friend told them to, or because they remember being told to take iron decades ago. After 60, and particularly after menopause in women, the body's need for supplemental iron drops significantly, and excess iron is not excreted efficiently. It accumulates. Stored iron, in excess of what the body needs, generates something called free radical oxidative stress. That means unstable molecules that attack and damage cellular structures, including the inner walls of your arteries. Think of excess iron in your bloodstream like rust forming inside a pipe. A little iron keeps the pipe functional. Too much, and the rust begins to accumulate, compromising the structure of the walls from the inside out. What would I recommend for my own parent if they were taking iron supplements without a confirmed diagnosis? I would tell them to stop immediately and get a ferritin blood test. Ferritin measures stored iron, and it is the only reliable way to know whether supplementation is appropriate. Treating assumed deficiency with iron supplements when no deficiency exists is not benign. It is a cardiovascular risk. A study published in Circulation found that adults over 65 with elevated serum ferritin levels, meaning excess stored iron, had a 61% higher rate of coronary artery disease progression compared to those with levels in the normal range. That is a number that demands attention. The fix: do not take iron supplements unless a ferritin blood test has confirmed deficiency, a level below 30 micrograms per liter. If your ferritin is normal or elevated, stop all iron supplementation. If you genuinely need more dietary iron, eat 3 ounces of cooked lentils 4 times per week. This provides 6.6 milligrams of plant-based iron per serving, absorbed at a rate your body can regulate naturally without accumulation. Number 5. Vitamin A, hiding in plain sight inside your multivitamin. Here's what surprises most of my patients completely. They tell me they do not take vitamin A, they take a multivitamin, and inside that multivitamin, often at 100% of the recommended daily value, which sounds entirely reasonable, is a dose of preformed vitamin A, specifically retinol or retinol palmitate, that for a person over 65 with reduced liver metabolism can accumulate to toxic levels within months of consistent daily use. Vitamin A toxicity, the medical term, is hypervitaminosis A, meaning dangerously elevated vitamin A in the body, does not look like what most people imagine toxicity looks like. It does not produce dramatic symptoms immediately. It produces bone density loss, liver stress, and in older adults with pre-existing arterial vulnerability, it has been specifically linked to accelerated arterial calcification. The same pattern we discussed with calcium, the same destination, your arterial walls. The danger is compounded by the fact that most people do not consider their multivitamin a source of concentrated nutrients. It is a single tablet. It seems like a safety measure. It feels like nothing. But preformed vitamin A at 100% daily value, taken every day for years by a 70-year-old liver processing it at 70% efficiency, is a daily accumulation problem hiding inside something that looks harmless. A study published in the American Journal of Medicine found that adults over 65 taking multivitamins containing more than 2,500 IU of preformed vitamin A daily had bone density and arterial stiffness profiles significantly worse than matched adults taking multivitamins with beta-carotene as the vitamin A source instead. The fix: read the label of your multivitamin right now. Look for the vitamin A source. If it says retinol, retinol palmitate, or retinol acetate, your multivitamin contains preformed vitamin A. Replace it with a multivitamin that lists beta-carotene as the vitamin A source. Beta-carotene is a precursor that your body converts to vitamin A only as needed and only in the amount required. It does not accumulate. It does not oversupply. Your body self-regulates. That single swap, same multivitamin habit, different product, removes a daily toxicity risk most people have been living with for years. Let me come back to Constance. When I sat with her for 40 minutes, not 7, 40, I went through her supplement spreadsheet line by line, not to dismiss what she had built, to understand it. She was taking 200 milligram of calcium carbonate daily, a 5,000 IU vitamin D capsule every morning, a vitamin E supplement at 800 IU, double the dose associated with increased mortality risk, an iron supplement she had started 3 years ago because she felt fatigued without ever testing her ferritin, and a multivitamin containing retinol palmitate at 100% daily value. 5 supplements, all of them taken faithfully, all of them believed to be protective. Together, they were delivering excess calcium directly to her arterial walls, amplifying that deposition with high-dose vitamin D, adding oxidative stress through high-dose synthetic vitamin E, loading stored iron into an already vulnerable vascular environment, and topping it all with daily preformed vitamin A, accumulating in a liver no longer processing it at full speed. 3 previous physicians had seen her supplement list. Not one had reviewed it with her in detail. One had told her the calcium was fine for bone health. Another had increased her vitamin D dose. Nobody had connected the constellation. I sat with Constance for 40 minutes. Not 7, 40. We stopped the calcium supplement and replaced it with 3 food-based servings of dietary calcium per day. We reduced her vitamin D to 2,000 IU with K2 added. We stopped the vitamin E entirely. We tested her ferritin. It came back at 94 micrograms per liter, nearly 3 times the level at which supplementation is appropriate, and stopped the iron. We replaced her multivitamin with a beta-carotene version. 14 weeks later, Constance's follow-up blood work showed calcium and iron levels within normal range for the first time in years. Her high-sensitivity CRP, her arterial inflammation marker, had dropped from 3.8 to 1.9. Her cardiologist, reviewing her updated calcium score at 6 months, noted that progression had slowed measurably. She sent me her updated supplement spreadsheet in an email. It was much shorter, simpler, and at the bottom of the email she had typed one sentence. I thought I was being careful. I just needed someone to look carefully with me. That is the whole story. Right there. You can be careful, diligent, and informed, and still be harmed by what you do not know. The goal of this video is to give you what you needed someone to look at with you. Let me bring this together simply and clearly. 1. Stop taking standalone calcium supplements. Get your calcium from food, and if supplementation is necessary, take no more than 500 milliliters at a time alongside vitamin K2. 2. Take no more than 1,000 to 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily, always with K2 at 100 to 200 micrograms, unless a blood test specifically directs otherwise. 3. Stop all vitamin E supplements entirely. Get your vitamin E from sunflower seeds, almonds, and avocado, not from a capsule. 4. Do not take iron supplements without a confirmed ferritin blood test showing deficiency. Excess stored iron is a direct cardiovascular risk. 5. Read your multivitamin label today. If it contains retinol or retinol palmitate, replace it with one listing beta-carotene as the vitamin A source. Start tonight with this one action. Pick up your multivitamin right now. Turn it over. Find the vitamin A listing. Read the source. That 30-second check tells you immediately whether the supplement you have taken faithfully for years contains a form of vitamin A your aging body cannot safely accumulate. 30 seconds. Tonight. That is where this begins. Your body has been working for you every single minute of your life. Give it what it needs. It will respond. If this video gave you something real, share it with someone you love. A spouse, a sibling, a friend over 60 who takes a handful of supplements every morning believing they are protected, not knowing that one of those capsules may be working against them. That one share might be the most important thing you do today. And tell me in the comments, which of these 5 vitamins are you currently taking? Was it the calcium? The high-dose vitamin D your physician recommended years ago? The multivitamin you have taken every morning for a decade without ever reading the fine print? I genuinely want to know. Because you have been trying to protect yourself. You deserve to know if what you are using is actually doing that. Everything I've shared today is general medical information based on published research and my clinical experience as a cardiothoracic surgeon. It is not a replacement for your personal medical care. Every person's situation is unique. Before making any changes, especially to medications or supplements, please have a full, honest conversation with your own doctor. That conversation, informed and unhurried, is exactly where good medicine begins.